the board will be submitted. Project is to be submitted. Now, let's come to our subtopic of the chapter, that is excess demand. Yesterday we have done two things related to excess demand. One is definition, what do you mean by excess demand? And second is excess demand with the help of diagram. These two things we did. Today we are going to start with various causes of excess demand. First, write down, or first you note down that the components of demand, components of aggregate demand is to be said, and later on we will see that how these things affect the demand here, excess demand. Now, first thing which affects, or the first cause of excess demand is C plus I plus G plus X minus N. We will go through the components of excess demand and we will see the causes here. First, we will take this, that is private consumption expenditure will decrease or will increase. Will increase. As a result, marginal propensity to consume will be more than marginal propensity to save. Means in an economy, the people are spending more and saving less. Because of that, the demand, that is the plant demand, is rising higher and higher. Then come to the next point, that is I. Private investment expenditure is also increasing, and firms and traders want to invest more to earn more profit. Then come to the third one. The third one is, that is government. Here, government investment plus government expenditure is also rising, is a cause of excess demand. Sorry, it is what you say, yes, cause of excess demand. Here you will say that the government is spending more than required on the welfare of the people, that is why government investment and government expenditure is increasing. Then come to the next one. Next one is exports, that is X. Exports will increase because international prices of the goods and commodities are more than the domestic. So the people would like to export the things, that is goods and services, rather than keeping them at a home. Then fifth is M. M will decrease. Imports will decrease. Imports will decrease because traders will not buy expensive international goods. That is, the traders will not import the goods because international goods are costly than the domestic goods. So they will buy domestic goods rather than buying the international goods. And sixth and the last point is taxes. Taxes, there will be a decrease in the taxes. When there will be a decrease in the taxes, it disposable. I have explained this word beforehand also. Disposable means whatever the income you spend, whatever the income a consumer or a household spend. Disposal means dispose of our income, spending of our income. So when the taxes will be imposed on the people which are less, so they have to pay less taxes from their income. And when they will pay less taxes on their income, naturally they will spend more part of the income. So, disposable income of the people, that is households and consumers, will increase. These are the causes of the excess demand. Now, one by one, Shubh, when
Yes, ma'am.
we say excess demand, so what is the equation for excess demand? These are the components of, no, these are the components of aggregate demand, which explains the causes of excess demand. Shubh, repeat it. Are the components aggregate demand इनको मिला के बनती है. Okay, again I will tell you because ये 1 mark का question is here and 3 marks का question I have already explained you. Aggregate demand means demand of all the four sectors in an economy. So we have the four sectors here. First is consumers, that is household. Second is investment, that is done by the firms. So households expenditure plus firms expenditure plus government expenditure plus expenditure done by the import and export. These are the components of AD. And with the help of these components, we explain the excess demand. So Shubh, what happens to C here in the excess demand? Nee, so what happens to the demand of the consumer? How does the consumer reacts? Expenditure done by the consumer is known as private consumption expenditure. Okay, so it will increase or it will decrease? It will increase. And result of that is MPC will increase and MPS will decrease. The people they spend more on demand and they are saving less. Akshat, next point. Okay. Uh, why? Because the producers, yes, business expectations means the producers they want to earn more profit. Okay. Then Shambhavi for the G. Where does the government invest and expend? Where does the government spend and invest of the people and of the economy? Okay. Stuti, exports are increased, but why there is a increase in exports? Uh, Stuti, next one. What about imports? Why imports decreases? So nobody. Okay, people would prefer to spend money to buy domestic goods rather than buying the international goods. And the last point, Shubh, last point. What about taxes? Taxes. Uh, Shubh, I would like to correct here. That is because there is a increase, because there is a decrease in the taxes. The people have to pay less taxes, so they have more money left with them. Because when they pay taxes, higher taxes, so they are left with less money. So now they are with the more money. So the people will spend more money on the increased demand. Shubh, is it clear? Okay, answer Shubh. Taxes are reduced or increased. So due to the reduced taxes, the people they will have more income or less income. More income. So they will spend more income on their demand or less income on their demand. Okay. So what is the word used for that? Spending, which is yes, good, is equal to what? Which demand? Deficient demand or excess demand? Is equal to excess demand. So is it clear to everyone? What are the important causes of excess demand? First is increase in the private consumption expenditure. Second is increase in the private investment expenditure. Third is increase in the government expenditure and investment. Fourth is exports are increased. Fifth, imports are decreased. And last is that is your taxes are decreased. The people they have to pay less taxes, therefore their spending power increases. Now come to the next, consequences or results of excess demand. Consequences or the results of the excess demand. Results of excess demand are four. First, we see that is inflationary gap. Second one is inflationary gap के लिए I am telling you this is 1 mark separate question. This is 3 mark separate question. And this is a not visible. Upside. Abhi. Is it? Okay. Now, inflationary gap is a result that is first one for the first marks, sorry, for the 1 mark and for 3 marks. 3 marks, it is a separate question and it is also studied as a gap here that is, to describe the result of a excess demand. Now, second point is constant GDP or income. Then third point is wage and price. system. And fourth and the last point is loss of profit. Okay, I am repeating. There are four important consequences or four important results of excess demand. First is inflationary gap. Inflationary gap is 1 mark question, 3 marks separate question with the equation and diagram, plus it is a question which it is a point which explains the consequences and results of excess demand. Then next is second one is constant GDP. GDP is also known as income. So the result of excess demand is constant income or national income of a country. Third result of excess demand is how does wage and price system works. Fourth is loss of profit. How do the trader or the firms, their profit start decreasing. So when we come to the first point, please note it down few important points here. The word inflationary gap is derived from the word inflation. And the meaning of inflation is price rise. I will explain you which prices rises in the economy and why. So, what is inflationary gap? Inflationary gap is caused by, first point, it is caused by excess demand. Second point, in this situation, output does not increases. Third point, all the factors are fully employed. That is, repeatedly we are coming across with sentence fuller utilization of resources. So all the resources in the economy are already fully employed. That is, optimum utilization of resources is already there. What about the technology? Technology is highly updated and it remains constant. Then we see that when already all the economic resources in the economy are fully utilized, but due to the excess demand, there is a pressure on the economy or economic resources. Which resources? Which are existing, which are there in the economy. So what happens when a pressure is there on the existing resources which are already fully employed? It happens that it leads to the increase in the cost of production. Children, this is the most important point here. Cost of production is taken over or is faced by the producers. For example, if the cost of raw material increases, because raw material is limited in the economy and raw material is fully utilized, but during the excess demand there is a more pressure on raw material. So what happens? The quantity is limited and demand is unlimited. So the price of raw material will increase. If the price of raw material will increase, then what will happen? The cost of production will be increased. This is the point which you have to remember. All the goods which are used by the producers, they all will become expensive. Transportation will become expensive, packing will become expensive, you know, putting goods from one end to another end will become expensive, wages will become expensive. So overall, a cost of production for a producer will increase. If the cost of production for a producer will increase, what will happen? Resources are limited, cost of production is increasing. Third chain reaction is there will be a increase in the journal price level. A producer will also increase the prices of the goods in the market. So there will be a increase in the journal price level of the market. That is, there will be a situation of price rise, which is known as inflation. And when there is a price rise, then it gives to there is the result is inflationary gap. When we show it with the help of a diagram, we say inflationary gap. When we show it with a theory, then we use the equation inflationary gap is equal to excess demand. Excess demand is equal to AD1 minus AD, or with the help of a diagram, vertical distance or vertical difference between AD1 minus AD is equal to inflationary gap or excess demand. So 12D, is it clear till here? 1 mark, 3 mark, what do you mean by inflationary gap?